Hello, you're watching James. My name's James, you're watching me, and I'm talking about watches. Well, the day has finally arrived. My Vostok Amphibia has arrived. I've taken it out of the box, I've had a quick look at it, I've identified that bracelet isn't actually that great, so I've swapped it straight over to my favourite AliExpress bracelet. If you haven't watched that video already, I do particularly like this AliExpress bracelet. But let's jump into this now, and I'm going to give you my first impressions of my Vostok Amphibia. So this is my Vostok Amphibia 710634. Well, it's actually not in here, I've taken it out of here, but I just wanted to quickly show you the box. It's a sort of solid plastic. I think it's a fairly standard one that they send out to you. Comes with a bit of a basic user manual, I guess, and all these bits of paper. And the standard bracelet, which, as I said, I've taken it off already. The actual parts of the bracelet seem okay, just the bits, yeah, it sort of feels quite sort of okay, but then when you look at the clasp, it's just, yeah, it's pretty terrible. And as soon as I sort of opened that clasp up, I went, no, I'm not even going to bother sizing this one up. I'm just going to stick it on that nice AliExpress bracelet that I have, and it looks quite good, so you'll see that in a second. And you can see the little end links, they're not solid, they're just these little hollow end links that came with it. So I think we can put that aside and not worry too much more about it. And here is my Vostok Amphibia on my AliExpress bracelet, which I think I've mentioned that a couple of times already. So what are my first thoughts? Well, the first thing I did think of when I did pull it out of the package was that it's actually a little bit smaller than I expected. I'm not sure why I was expecting it to be bigger, probably because the actual size is around about that 41mm. But I think that lug-to-lug sizing is actually quite compact, so it fits quite small on the wrist, which is not a bad thing by any means, but for some reason I was expecting the whole thing to be a little bit bigger. It has quite a cool dial on it. It's just like a matte black with that scuba dude. I did want the scuba dude, and it's got that nice big acrylic crystal, which is quite cool. Seems to be all polished throughout. It is, let me show you the case back. I quite like the case backs on these watches. It's got that nice sort of ingrained Amphibia logo. It's nice and soft, and it's got that dual sort of screw down technology that they use there to create that water resistance. Now it does have that sort of wobbly crown, as we now have come to expect, which I have to say, yeah, is fine. I'm perfectly okay with that. I do find though, I did set the time, but to manually wind, you sort of just pull out slightly, and there's like almost like feels like a slight springiness. You just pull on that spring a little bit. I'm not sure if it is a spring, but that's what it feels like. And it manually winds. If you don't pull out a little bit, it does tend to then wind back in again. That's all right. And then obviously you pull out to adjust the time. No hacking. The bezel is that bi-directional sort of friction bezel. It's not particularly stiff. It feels alright, but I'd be a bit worried if I just knock it that I might move it. But I'm not going to be using this one for diving or timing things, so I'm not too worried about that. The hands are quite good. It's nice having that little flash of red, which then matches in with that little bit on the bezel. Nice to have those little tie-ins amongst the watch. And the wrist shot on my 6 3/4 inch wrist. As you can see, it really fits in quite easily. You could get away with quite a smaller wrist with this watch because of that lug-to-lug size. And I'm quite happy with how this fits in with this aftermarket bracelet as well, which I kind of knew I'd be wanting to do when I bought the watch. So I think it'd be quite a good watch to fit different bracelets, different straps, whatever you want to put on it, and I think it'll look quite good. And specifically because it has that nice squared off sort of point that you attach to, it will fit most straps and it'll look quite good. So yeah, there's my Vostok Amphibia. I'm going to keep it on wrist for quite a while, as I usually do, so that I can give you a proper in-depth full review of this one. So keep your eyes open for that one, and I'll get back to you as soon as I'm ready to review this one. Alright, hope to see you in the next video.